Hi, girls and boys. I'm going to talk to you today about the book When Sophie Gets Angry, really, really angry. And we're going to look at some of the pages that you just read. In the beginning of the book, you'll notice that when Sophie first gets angry, in the first few pages of the book, because she has to share something with her sister, it says that Sophie is a volcano ready to explode. So look what the illustrator did. The page opposite Sophie, my apologies, created a volcano. And then if you look at Sophie, it kind of looks like Sophie is the volcano on the opposite page. So she made her illustrations look like Sophie is a volcano ready to explode with all those red lines and orange lines going around Sophie. If we look at the next page, she's still talking about how mad Sophie is. And she shows that it looks like she's almost breathing fire that's coming out of her mouth. And it says she roars a red, red roar. So not just she screams, she roars a red, red roar. And she not only roars, but she's choosing the color red to maybe show how angry Sophie is, to maybe have it look like fire. And look at how the roar disrupts everything in the room. On this page, I wanted to show you how the author and illustrator adds more by saying, when Sophie's angry, she runs. She runs and runs and runs until she can't run anymore. She didn't say she runs. She talks about how far she runs. So you can kind of think about that Sophie is just running and running and running and running until she's out of breath. And look at the illustrations. It doesn't just show Sophie running, it shows everything around her. So keep that in mind when you're making your piece today. This next page I wanted to show you talks about what Sophie feels, what she sees. And you can even add maybe what you're hearing. So she is including the senses and talking about not only what she feels the breeze. And you can tell that in the illustration that the leaves are kind of maybe moving and the waves are moving. It blows her hair. Look at her hair, looks like it's moving too. She watches the water and the waves. So it's not just she looks at the water. She watches the water and the waves. So those are two things that she's watching. And again, look at the illustrations. Not only is it just Sophie, but it's Sophie up on a tree, it's leaves, it's water, it's grass. This final page I wanted to point out, when Sophie gets home, she's yelling, "I'm home." And again, we talk about the senses. The house is warm, it smells good, and everyone is glad that she's home. So she's talking about how she feels when she gets home, and you can kind of see how her family feels. It smells good. We can't experience that, but she's talking about it. And everyone is glad she's home. Look, even the cat greets her at the door. So there's a lot of different things happening in the illustrations and with the words. So when you're adding more, I want you to keep that in mind, that not only does it have to do with the words, but also with the illustrations. So you can add as much to the page as you want. However, I will say this, when you're making your story about what you do when you're angry, you can have something similar to what you read, but try not to make it exactly like the book read, because this book has already been written and illustrated by the author and illustrator Molly Bang, and you are doing your own writing and illustrating on your paper, your own. All right, if you have any questions, let me know. Good luck.